Shree Swaminarayan, everyone, and welcome to the new SKSST podcast called YYM, in celebration of our 25th anniversary for our Harrow YM. Today I have with me Jyoti Hirani and Keisha Pandoria. So guys, tell me a bit more about yourself.
Hi, I'm Jyoti. I work in digital marketing and I've probably been coming to YM since I was about 7 years old.
Keisha?
Hi, I'm Kishore. I've been coming to YM since the 10th anniversary, and ever since then I've enjoyed coming here. I'm also a qualified electrician, and I work for a really big company where we do high-end projects.
Beautiful. Alright guys, gonna go straight into it. First question for you guys is, what exciting things have you done with your friends recently?
Well, I went on holiday recently with all my friends, which was a really good time. But obviously you've got a different mix of personalities in a friend group and they can always cause difficulties. But otherwise a great time, but learning to manage that is also really important. What about you, Kishore?
The recent time I went out with my friends was when I went to escape room. We had a really good time, had a good banter. We got to learn about each other as well and learn from each other. That was a really good time I had with them.
That's great. So based on that, what experiences have you had about negative and positive association?
I think it's very easy to get caught up in lifestyle with friends and things like that and being encouraged to get into the wrong kind of path of things. But it's up to you to be quite strong-held with that. And I think it's very easy to misunderstand it as well. Some people may be trying to encourage a positive attitude or a vibe, but you might think it's a negative thing. And they might be being negative, but you can take a positive from it. So I think it's a lot of what you take away from a situation.
No, I agree with that, Joy. I've also faced a few negative and positive associations with my friends, and I go to one about when I was in school, back in like high school, where a lot of bullying happens, and you're around your friend circle, but you ain't got anyone else, and they're all your friends, right? So, but just by what they say has an impact on you. So if they're just calling you dumb all the time, or they're calling you you're not smart enough, the more you surround yourself with them, you become like that and you think you ain't smart enough or you ain't good enough. So I think it's key to know when you need to move out of that friend circle. It's not about just fitting in. Mm-hmm. It's about knowing that your own self is the most important thing.
You get a lot of toxic people out there who can create a lot of toxic environment for you as well. Mm-hmm. I think one big thing that people miscommunicate as for negative association, it's not just the basic things like drinking, smoking, going out. It's people just generally being mean or bullying, like Kishore said, that can cause a really negative impact on your life. And some people misunderstand that just by negative association, just because people drink or they smoke or things like that, they're going to be negative people. I think that's a really bad misconception to have. I think someone who can push you career-wise or push you to be your best self, they might have traits that might not be. As long as they don't push that on you, I think that's really important. But that same person can bring such a positive attitude for you in your life. And I think that's where we need to learn to be able to draw a line and be able to understand that some people may have some qualities that you might not completely agree with, but to think about and balancing out what that person actually brings to you. Mm-hmm. And if they do bring a positive aspect, and I can say the same for multiple situations I've been in. I have friends, and I'll put my hand up and say it, that they go out, they drink, they party, they do all of it. But never has anyone pushed it on me, and that's why I keep them as friends. Anytime someone's pushed me to do something I don't want to do, I've always backed out the situation and knowing that this is not where I belong and it's not the kind of people I want to be around. Mm-hmm. But I think biggest thing for me is people around me who have those qualities have always been there for me in all my career moves, in my writing CVs and pushing me to apply for jobs. I would come home and be depressed from my old job, and they would motivate me to be like, no, Jots, you got to get up and you got to apply for jobs and you got to get out of this like bad environment that you're in. And I think it's easy to mix up all those things, but it's really good. It's a really good thing to be able to differentiate those things and be like, you know what, this person still does bring something positive to my life. And I think a lot of people misunderstand that. So.
No, 100% I agree on that. Finding the right people who's going to push you, like what Jyoti said about they're helping you with CVs. I've got a lot of friends that support you, and you want to surround yourself with people who are going to motivate you to achieve more.
Talking about that, it's sometimes when you're in a bad association, it's hard to kind of differentiate if you're in a bad association or good association. So the next question is, how do you know you've got the right association around you?
I feel like you just feel it, the vibes. You just feel the vibes of people, the words they say. You need to be a bit smart. You need to work on yourself, like I said, that's important. And you need to be wise and understand the words they're saying. And automatically the vibes that you feel of them, you realise, is this for me or is it not for me? That's what I think. Mm-hmm.
I really, really agree with that. I think, especially at university and things like that, I really try to fit in with everybody, and I think I get really caught up in that. And sometimes you don't realize, because it's human nature to crave attention, and somebody's giving you attention, and you might think it's the positive attention you're getting from someone, but it's sometimes really negative, and you can get really caught up in it because somebody's just being nice to you maybe once, but then they're also pushing you to go out and go do these things that you don't want to do. But because you want the person to like you, you'll give in. So it's like a very small ground between peer pressure, I think, is a very thing. But I think it can go on for a long time if you don't realize. I was at uni for 2.5 years and I didn't notice it the whole time. I had to come home and take myself out of the situation, be able to realize. I think that's a big thing, stepping back and looking at it from like an overview point of to understand how it really does affect you in your life. And I think COVID for me was that big step out, helped me understand that I wasn't around these people on a daily basis. I wasn't near them. I wasn't even talking to them that much, because that's when you learn about your true friends, because people who asked you about your health and things like that was actually people who cared.
Exactly.
So I think taking a step back is really important to be able to understand if they're actually having a positive impact or a negative impact. And if they are there for you and they do care about you in a well-being way, they'll make the effort to come and ask you if you're well or how you've been or things like that. And that's where a lot of people, I think, in just the world have learned true people around them. I think that really helped a lot of people understand that, but it's still easy to get caught up in it.
Exactly. And since it is really easy to get caught up in a bad situation, Jyoti gave great advice. Keisha, what advice would you give to people that are like stuck in a bad association, that want to get out and feel the good vibes that you're talking about?
I feel like you need to just get out there. If you know it's bad, get out. Don't be scared. Get out your comfort zone. Do something that's not something you do normally. Mm-hmm. And I think once you do that and you realise the impact it's had on your life, you realise the benefits of leaving that friend circle, it may be, or leaving that environment. It could be a work environment where it's all negative. And you realise that once you leave, how much of a positive impact it has on you. Like Jyoti said, step back and reflect. And that's the only way you're going to know if it's had an impact on you.
Yeah.
But it is really hard to get caught up, because like Jyoti said as well, like you want to fit in. And that's where we all probably go wrong, is thinking, let me just fit in. But I think sometimes get out there and work on yourself.
Yeah, it's like getting outside your comfort zone sometimes.
I want to add something to that as well. I think one big thing is learning to be okay on your own. I think a lot of this whole association thing comes from the crave for attention and the need for somebody around you in a friend group, or even someone just goes back to saying about liking you. I think coming to terms with who you are as a person and how you feel and dealing with your own problems first really helps you kind of understand what you want from the people around you. I think for me that was a big thing as well. I think I'm like from a very small family. It's just me and my mom. My dad's never been around my whole life, kind of thing. So I've always craved this kind of family feeling for me, and that's a big thing for me. And I used to mistake that for friends around me, because I'd be like, they care about me and that fills in that gap for me. But until I dealt with my own problems, that I have those issues that I need to face up to and things like that, until I came to my own like demons, essentially, I didn't understand what I actually wanted from the people around me. So I think understanding what you need and what yourself kind of needs to heal as a person, and the trauma you've been through, because like a lot of people don't realize they've been through trauma, but it takes a while for people to understand that this is things that they've been through that have affected them, and that affects their long-term kind of feelings around people around them and who they kind of keep around and things like that. But I think that's a big thing, to deal with your self-demons and understanding you're okay on your own, or you're happy by yourself. And then you'll understand what you actually need to fit in around you to help you grow as a person.
That's a beautiful point. You guys been in Mandal for quite a while now, right? How long have you been in Mandal?
Probably 10 years plus.
10 years.
I probably couldn't even tell you, to be honest.
Great, that's beautiful. So since you guys been in Mandal for quite a while, you guys can definitely tell a difference between association in YM in Mandal and from outside. So do you want to give your examples of that?
Yeah, sure. I feel like since I joined YM and I got more into it, I feel like I realised my association changed and I became a more positive person, a person who wanted to be motivated in doing things. Like when I was in school, like I said, I was not in the best association. So you're always in the negative environment, the negative vibes. Your mind was always negative as well. But as soon as I stepped into Mandal, I went YM. I met a lot of friends, a lot of people who always pushed me. And it wasn't even like fast. It's just like helping me out in certain areas. It could be in life, it could be in satsang, in work, in all aspects. And it's just saying, you know what, you can do it, go for it. And I think the biggest person for me would be my guru or the santos I've hanged around with. Who've always given me that positive vibes, like go for it. Hey, I said, what's there to worry about? There's God sitting there leave it in him, leave it in his hands, and you achieve anything.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing that's impossible in this world.
I have a slightly different experience to Keisha.
Yeah.
I would say since coming to YM, there's loads of people who've provided a positive impact on me, and it may not be certainly maybe satsang or things like that, but for life as well.
Yeah.
Just support with things I've needed, push me to presenting at Mandir, pushing me out my comfort zone. Last year for the culture event, I performed by myself. To give me the confidence to do something like that is amazing, that the people around you can give you that confidence to do something like that. But I think it's also a really negative term around the fact that just people from YM can provide you that. And I think it's learning to balance out the both, but necessarily saying that the people at Mandir do provide you those good things. And I would put my hand up and say, I'm probably not half the people that are at Mandir, but no one has ever judged me on my decisions. No one has ever made me feel uncomfortable for anything I've ever done. I lived out for uni. No one judged me saying, you moving out, why are you leaving your mum, why are you doing all these things? People supported me. They came out to Birmingham to see me.
Yeah.
They did all these things because they still care about me as a person. No judgment on who I am as a person or what I choose to do with my time, but just choosing to be there for me and anything I need or things like that. It's understanding that just because they come to Mandir doesn't mean they're a specific type of person as well. Because anyone can be negative in a way that they might not be encouraging you to do things like drinking or smoking or things like that. But there are still bullies, and some people don't even realize they're being bullies because they haven't dealt with their own self-demons.
Yeah.
So,
touching on that, I just want to give a quote from the Vaishnava actually. It says, one should keep satsang by thought, word or deed only with Bhagwan or his bhaktos, as it leads to the kalyan of person's jeev. That personally touches me a lot. You want to have a connection with someone, especially you want to have kalyan to someone's jeev. What do you think about the quote, Kisho?
I think the quote's really good. By mind, thought, and deed, right?
Yeah.
It's like just having the right morals.
Yeah,
innit?
yeah, definitely.
Morals and whatnot. But it's really key, by thought, word, and deed is the best way to attain kalyan.
Yeah.
So associating with the right people is the best way to make sure you get moksha from the life you've come.
That's essentially what satsang means, isn't it?
Yeah, satsang is, so you need to hang around with the right people who's going to guide you in the right path. It doesn't mean just in Mandir, it could be in all aspects of life. Satsangi isn't just being a true satsangi to God, it's being at home, at work, and at Mandir. When you're all three, when you're successful in all three, that's when you're a true satsangi. So, being good at Mandir, doing all your house chores, being good at home, and also doing everything that you need to do for the society as well.
I've got balls to juggle there, isn't it?
Yeah, it is quite difficult, but that's what is a true satsangi.
I think going on that quote as well, we talked about a deed, and I think charity is a big thing in that as well. And if people can see, if someone even not being Hindu and they're, let's say, from a different culture, and they believe in being humane and giving to someone, I think enough to classify them as satsangi in their own rights of being someone who's charitable and humane. And I think that's something to appreciate from someone, to be like, they might not be a satsangi in the terms that we call them, but they are doing a deed in God. So I think that's a,
no,
that's a really
100% like being human first.
Yeah, definitely a big part of that.
It's a big thing.
Yeah.
We've got like food banks that happen as well at Monday on Sundays where we support Go Dharmic.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I think like the people that come out and help with that, they might not be everyday Monday, but they want to come and choose and just help out. And I think that's such a big thing on just helping out and doing the small things. Like
it brings happiness to you, just like feeding people, and it's just a nice feeling. Like you should come and explore.
Definitely. I think we can call it there. It was a nice conversation about association. I feel like you guys motivated me as well. I feel like I should go out and clear out my comfort zone and get more good association. But thank you guys for coming.
Thanks for having
us.
Beautiful conversation. I think we can
Jason.
Join us for our next podcast where we will be covering gratitude with some more amazing guests. Jai Shree Swaminarayan.